So what income system has the highest income potential today? As someone who's led sales teams that have closed millions of dollars in revenue, I'm going to show you the 5 systems I would build if you were starting from zero. Quick thing before we start though, if you're between $250,000 and $2 million in yearly revenue and you feel stuck, take my flywheel diagnostic tool in the description. It's 3 minutes and you'll know exactly what's broken by the end of it. All right, let's get into the video. I'll even show you how to launch something I call the revenue proof ladder. This isn't some hustle harder, dial for dollars scheme. These are real proven sales systems inside multi-million dollar businesses that you can start building today. So let's dive in. First, you want to create a market demand filter. And here's the thing that most people skip when they try to start a business. They build something that they think that buyers want, and then they go looking for buyers. And actually that's completely backwards. The first sales system you need isn't a pitch deck or a script. It's actually a system that weeds out who isn't good for your product idea and finds who's really great. You need a system that proves people are already looking for what you want to sell before you ever spend a single dollar building a product. The cost here is low because all you really need here is a landing page, basic branding skills, and a couple of research tools. The effort is medium because you actually need to dig in and do the work, and this can take a few weeks or a month if you're not good at the skills. But I want to install systems for you that you can do quickly and skip all of the noise and get right to the signal of why this strategy works. Because if you build this system first, every single business you launch after this will be reliably profitable much faster. And the first idea that you launch is probably not going to be the best. You're probably going to iterate on this 3, 4, 5, maybe even up to 10 times before you find a business that's a winner. So these are really important skills to learn. Here's what you're looking for. You want to find a niche where somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000 people per month are actively searching for a solution to the exact problem that you want to solve. That's your signal to go forward with a business idea and a brand to test in the market against your assumptions. And the cool part is this system doesn't just work once. Every time you get a new idea, you'll be able to run it through this filter. What you're trying to find out here is, should I kill this idea before it costs you anything in time and revenue, or is this going to be a successful business? What we're trying to do here is get you to flex the muscle of failing fast and failing cheap and not getting attached to an idea. That is where entrepreneurs get stuck. Now I want to show you what this actually looks like in practice. So for example, I knew somebody who spent months, like 6 months, building a coaching program before ever talking to potential customers. They took a coaching course and they built out the entire curriculum, the portal, the branding, all of everything, the recorded videos. And when they launched, they had no results. They literally had an empty course portal. They ended up having a Stripe account with no transactions in it. The reason this happened is because exactly what I said earlier. They did this backwards. They never validated if anybody was looking for the solution that they were trying to offer. Now, if you compare that to somebody else I know who launched a program while understanding there were 50,000 people a month searching for this specific certification, she was able to also find that there were other people in this niche that were charging $10,000 to get into a program. And so what she did is she built a simple landing page describing basically the same solution. She cut the price by 1/3 and she got $50,000 worth of signups in the first month. So that's the difference. One of these systems, building up everything first before testing the idea, or testing the idea to validate that there's a market out there for you. Hindsight here is 2020. So what I want to do is teach you the revenue proof ladder, because these are the exact steps that you're going to go through to create way more sales without spending so much time and money. So step one is to validate your idea. You need to pick a niche. You can use Google's built-in keyword planner to search for volume. There's all sorts of different tools that you can use to kind of validate what is out there, what people are charging for, and the amount of searches each month. Google will also show you what the competition is for certain keywords, so you can kind of get an idea of how crowded a niche is. The important metric here is for every dollar it costs to produce the solution, the hiring, the ad spend, etc., is you need to be able to charge at least $3 to be hyper profitable and scalable. If you're charging $750, you want to be able to acquire a customer for $250 landed. All of the costs that it takes to deliver a product and also to run the website and all the bells and whistles. Real quick, if what I just said is hitting home and you want the actual math on how to hit your freedom number, I built a free calculator called Millionaire Math. Plug in your numbers and see your path. Links in the description. Now let's get back to it. In the same token, if you're charging $3,000 for a product, this is when you start charging more for a high ticket, kind of high reward, high value offer. You're able to justify those costs to acquire a customer. The second step is you need to qualify the people that come into your funnel. You need to build a meaningful enough barrier between the people who are searching for your solution or that you are running ads to and the actual offer itself. Your goal here is actually to create a little bit of friction in the sales process so that people have to go through hoops to filter out people who are just kind of casually browsing for something. Some people do this in the form of a short application form or a low ticket offer somewhere a book between $7 and $27, something that is in between you and the actual offer itself. Something that's in between the customer and the full offer itself. Your ideal conversion rate between somebody who just enters their email on a website and becomes an actually qualified lead. So you want somebody to give you your email, and then you want about 20% of those people to actually invest their time, attention, and energy into this low barrier to entry thing, or a very long web page where the call to action to enroll is at the very bottom, but your page is 3 to 5, scrolls down for them to get to the information to actually enroll in your offer. A 10-page questionnaire, that type of thing. You're creating just enough barrier to weed out people who are not serious, and also just enough barrier so that you're not just letting your entire funnel bleed out because people can't figure out how to get to you. The third step is actually to converse with people. You want to get people on a call when you're first starting to validate an idea, because this is where you actually learn what their true pain points are. And in the first stages of validating your idea, you're not trying to sell people. You're simply listening to them and you're asking them piercing questions like, what else have you tried to do to solve this problem? How long have you been dealing with this? What would it mean for you if this issue is actually fixed? The whole point of this step is really to understand their pain so deeply so that when you actually go back to your website and go back to the drawing board, your kind of initial validation idea of the website, that you're able to kind of fine tune your messaging and speak deeply to these people's pains. Now, step 4 is to convert, and the way that you do that is by integrating everything that you learned in those first 3 steps, all the metrics that prove it's a good idea, or all the conversations that you have that help you understand the true pains of your customer, and then run them through a simple checkout. Step 4 is basically to run them through a low friction, simple checkout screen. And here's the ultimate move in this phase. You can collect payment information securely but not charge someone's card yet. An example of this is like, set a launch date for your business. Hey, we're gonna be launching this on XYZ day at XYZ time. And the reason that you do this is you wanna prove your metrics first. So you prove your financial metrics and you prove your conversion metrics. Because if you don't prove those two metrics, you will not have a working business. You might have a really expensive hobby that sucks a bunch of your time and energy, but is not going to generate revenue. And honestly, I don't want a single person following me to spend thousands of dollars validating an idea before they go and build it. It doesn't make any sense. It's the old way of building a business. And I'm really here to show you the new, easier way how to build a business. It's never been easier to do that in today's day and age. So that is the revenue proof ladder. You want to validate, you want to qualify, you want to converse with people, and you want to convert them. Once you have all of that, you can confidently go back to the drawing board and actually launch your business and actually build the curriculum, the product, build the infrastructure. But until you have these first 4 phases, it really does not make sense to build the entire business. Alright, if you got value from this video and you want a custom 90-day growth plan for your business, grab it free below. That's it. I'll catch you next time.